Wake up! Wake up! Wake up! What's going on, everyone? This is Paul Newell, fitness coach for Balanced Wellness. Today, it is a pleasure for us to have Stephanie Filardi, health coach, nutritionist. She's a Balanced Wellness partner. She's really helped me a lot. A lot of my clients work with Stephanie. Stephanie has a thriving business. She's going to talk to us today about another thing we can do on our path to balanced wellness. And what are you going to talk about today?
Meditation and the benefits.
Fantastic. Awesome. So, question for you. Since we're talking about meditation, I know that's something a lot of people are starting to talk about now. How did you get involved in meditation? What were some of the reasons you got involved with it?
Great question. I basically, about 10 years ago, when I was still working in the corporate world, I was your typical perfectionist type A personality.
Right.
So very stressed out. Things would affect me emotionally. I felt like I was overscheduling myself. And I really felt like I wanted to have not only a deeper connection to myself, but I felt that I needed to slow things down. The incessant thoughts were keeping me up at night, and they were quite honestly exhausting me. So I felt that I needed another way other than your typical sugar or caffeine, or even sometimes having a glass of wine at the end of the day to escape all this stuff.
Does that sound familiar?
Yeah, or keeping ourselves so busy that we don't want to deal with the stuff we need to address in our life.
Interesting.
So those were the major reasons why I decided to look into meditation.
That's interesting. I heard a lot of benefits with meditation. Like, so is that something that you promote to your clients to do?
Oh, absolutely. And there's a few reasons. There's many benefits to meditation. The first thing, especially in my field as a holistic health coach, I really feel that meditation is really the pathway to healing.
Interesting.
We hear a lot of talk about the mind-body connection, and I do feel like when we're able to still our mind and we're able to really tune into ourself and our inner voice, we truly know what we need. So whether it's making a career decision, making a relationship decision, envisioning how we want to live our life and what's important to us, by being able to still our mind and tune into what we want, we're able to achieve more balance, and ultimately I feel more peace and more joy. The other thing that's really important about meditation that people don't realize is that it's actually very energizing.
Really?
So when I was able to meditate consistently, I was not craving the sugar as much, not needing the caffeine as much, not needing to escape having a glass of wine at the end of my stressful, busy day. So I was able to slow things down enough where I was coming from a place of what I wanted rather than what I should be doing. And it's very rejuvenating to your nervous system as well.
Interesting. So that actually makes some sense. So when people learn to meditate, it's like they can kind of step back and, are you saying it can kind of help them from making bad decisions?
I absolutely think that. I think that when we are in tune with ourselves and what's important to us, that we gain clarity. So I always say, sometimes when I'm struggling in my life and I don't know the answer to a question, I literally say I'm going to meditate on it. Because sometimes, it's like having the television on, doing email, and then someone talking to you. How's your focus? And I feel like in this day and age with the BlackBerry, the texting, all this information coming at us constantly, we don't take the time to slow it down to really hone into ourselves.
Interesting. I think that's so true. There's actually an article in the New York Times recently that was talking about just that. Like, people are so bombarded, that means you are so bombarded with all these different things that they lose focus. Now, you mentioned something really key. Like, you really started doing this when you were in the corporate world. So a lot of people that are going to be watching this, they have their 9 to 5, they have a family, they have responsibilities. So I'm sure that they could benefit from meditation. So what are some things that they could do to get started, or what are some different types of meditation they could do?
Sure, absolutely. So before I explain that, I want to talk about what the main goal of meditation is.
Yeah, please.
So the main goal of meditation, just to keep in mind, is to really still our mind. And by stilling our mind, we're able to tune into our heart and our feelings. So that's the overall goal. There are many types of meditation. The one that I personally practice, it's called Transcendental. It's Transcendental, and I practice it 2 times a day for 20 minutes, and I have a mantra that I say. I don't suggest that that's how people get started. So what I'm going to talk about today is a simple meditation. It's called an I Am meditation. So before I explain how to do it, I'm going to explain why I chose that one. Basically, like I had said earlier, if we're able to turn off the thoughts and we're able to get to that place of stillness, we're able to hear our authentic voice, right? So when we say I am, without a word, there's no history there, so it's neutral. For example, when we look at this present moment, everything is perfect in this moment. The problems happen, or the suffering happens when we start thinking about the past. So I am sad, or I am regretful that I didn't do this. Or when we think about the future, worry. You know, where am I going tomorrow? Am I going to have a job tomorrow? So by being able to stay in I am, we're being able to stay in the present and therefore shut off the mind.
Very
Makes sense?
Absolutely. That
Very
makes a lot
simple.
of sense.
So I am. This is not affirmations. This is clearing the mind. Okay. So the way we do it is, the way people can get started to do it is very simply committing to doing it 5 minutes a day in the morning as soon as we wake up. As soon as our energy starts getting affected by all the other things around us. Okay. So it should be done first thing in the morning. You can lay in bed and do it with your eyes closed, or you can sit like this with your eyes closed, just kind of with your palms up, with your eyes closed. And all you're doing for 5 minutes is you're repeating out loud in your head the word I am. I am. Out loud in your head. And as thoughts come up, you just acknowledge it and you let it go. Okay. It's okay if you have a clock near you, if you open your eyes 5 times or 50 times. Sometimes people don't know how long 5 minutes is exactly. Because people get stressed out and then the whole point of meditation is lost. So it's okay. It's okay. So you just stay there for 5 minutes and you do the I am meditation in silence, preferably with nobody else around. So that would be a great way to get started. And then ultimately building up to another time, a second time, 5 minutes at the end of the day, preferably before dinner. Okay. And as you do it more frequently, it becomes easier to do it in like public. So if you're at the office and you need to excuse yourself, or if you're at your desk, or you're on a train, it's really important. And I really believe that everyone can find the 5 minutes at the beginning and at the end.
You guys can find the 5 minutes.
Everybody can find it. Right. So it takes time, but as you do it consistently and frequently, it starts to get easier. Okay. And you start to crave it.
Interesting. Okay, so just so everybody gets this again. Yes. How should they start? You said 5 minutes.
5 minutes.
And when in the?
I am in the morning. Okay. Right after rising.
Perfect. Now, any posture cues or anything, any ways they should sit, any special scenario or setting they should have when they do this?
Well, I think anywhere that brings a sense of calm. I personally do my meditation in the morning as soon as I wake up laying in bed.
Okay, cool.
Because it just helps. If I get up and go into the living room or the kitchen, all of a sudden my mind starts looking at all the things I need to do.
Got it.
So it needs to be somewhere that's not going to distract you.
Okay, got it. So the morning time.
Morning time is great.
That's a great place to start. You mentioned before corporate helped you, that really brought you to the words of meditation. A lot of people out there working corporate, stress you talked about, time management, I know they could use it. What are some scenarios where they could do this at work?
They could simply do it if they're in an office situation, have their own office, simply close the door, put your phone on Do Not Disturb. If you're in a situation where you're sharing space, try to find an area that's just quiet. Cool. So it just depends. You kind of have to be creative. But I always say, like everything else we do in life, if you schedule the time, it'll happen. Just like we schedule everything else. So we have to learn to schedule our time. Great. Just like we schedule meetings and all those other fun activities.
So, perfect. I'm so happy you said that.
Yes.
Schedule this time. This is for you. Stephanie, thank you so much for talking about meditation and giving us some great tips. Everyone, implement these tips. I figured we had a little call to action. As soon as this tape stops, take a minute, do the I am transcendental meditation.
Practice.
All right? Listen, this is Paul. This is Stephanie. Thank you so much for participating. Thank you so much for getting this great information out to the people to help them on their path to balanced wellness. This is Paul and Stephanie signing out. Be well.
Take care.
Stay balanced.
So thank you for joining us today. I hope you were inspired, and I hope, as Paul said, you will start meditating immediately. You'll feel the benefits. And I'm excited to be working with you and Paul with the Balanced Wellness Partners. And one quote I'd like to leave you with today. So get a pen, write it down. And the quote is this, and it's by Diane Ackerman. It says, "Don't just live the length of your life, but live the width of it as well." And I truly believe that when you start a meditation practice and you do it consistently, that over time you will feel that your life will expand and you will open up and you will truly experience more joy, more peace, more love, and more compassion, and also a lot more fun. Thank you. Have a great day.